so what are we going to do for the show? And you're like, we're going to talk about the whole dating thing and the women in today's society. And my first reaction was, wait a minute. Didn't we already do that show? Like episode 3 or 4? But, okay, that's cool. And I don't know what it was, but like throughout the week, I guess that kind of festered on me. Like, why are we going to do the same thing again, something that we've already done? You know what I mean? Not thinking that maybe we could upgrade it or take it to another level or to another depth. In my mind, it was like, well, fucking, we've already done that. Let's do something different. And with all respect, I didn't even have a fucking idea to what we're going to do. So here I am knocking your idea on what our show is going to be. But I'm not throwing any ideas in there either. So where the fuck do I get off saying that shit? You know what I mean? So how can I come to you and say, dude, that's a show. It's not going to be a good show because...
and it wasn't going to be the same show because we would have a female perspective on the mic.
So, but that was my thinking. And again...
And just so that the listeners know out there, I'm perfectly aware that there hasn't been a female on the show yet. And I'm doing what I can to make that happen.
We're trying to change that. But that was, you know, and again, yesterday was we had the talking thing, but like I went home last night and I just I did a lot of I don't know if I'm gonna call it soul searching. I don't know if it was that deep, but it just, you know, again, I had to look at the show for what it is, you know, and again, this is a great outlet for me to just, I don't know if the audience has seen that or not, but I think I have a comedic funniness to me or whatnot, you know. I think I'm funny. I don't like it when I have to be serious but I guess that's part of the deal in life, I guess. I don't know, but anyway, so you know, I want to part of the show that I want to bring is the funny, you know. And it's like you said, and I remember when you first asked me to do this, you said, listen, I like your personality, and I think we'd go great together, you know. I think we'd be a good, you know, on air or whatever together. And so I remember that, and so I try to take a back seat to whatever you're saying, and I throw in my little comments here and there, you know, and I try and keep the funny going and keep it rolling, you know. But for the most part, like I said, I just felt like, you know, and then again we did the Antonio Montoya, whatever that show was, you know, we did that show, and
Inigo Montoya,
right, and Ernesto and Pancho Inigo Montoya. And we did that show, and I think that was one of the times too where I felt like it's like I was throwing ideas out there, and I didn't expect all of my ideas to be taken, but there was times where you were giving me that look like, really, Marin? And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm giving you ideas. I mean, I don't, you know. And to be honest, the show came out, I think it turned out good, you know. And I look at it as a lot of I would say that the creative of it was like a 60-40 split, you know what I mean? So I was glad that I was part of that, you know? But and again, one of the things that had got me is I says, you said, well, we're going to do skits today. And I was like, okay, let's do some skits. That's cool, you know? I said, well, we have the one skit, the Juan the Gardener skit. And you're like, no, let's not do that one. And I'm like, well, and in my mind, I'm like, and maybe I should have said that to you right there and then. I should have said it, but again, like you said, I fucking hold that shit in, you know. And I go, I'm thinking, well, fuck, we already have a fucking skit. I even have the shit written out. Why can't we use it?
It was a premise I'd given you, though.
Right.
So it wasn't like I was shooting down your idea. I was shooting down one that I'd given you.
Right.
You'd just taken the ball and ran with it.
Right.
So granted, you had your contribution there.
Right.
But you didn't tell me that you felt like your investment was getting rejected.
Right. You know, you're right. And so that was, that was just one of those times where, and like I said, I don't take whatever I have to say when I'm here and I'm on the air, whatever issues I have here, whatever. I mean, I don't go home.
Just for the argument's sake, for the theater of the mind, the Inigo Montoyas are no skit. They are our neighbors. My neighbors.
Okay.
And they'd be very offended if you were just brushing them off as figments of my imagination.
No. Okay. So, my thing is that, I just want to be more involved in what's the doings of the show, period. You know, with what's happening with the show, or at least I don't need recognition on every fucking thing I do, you know. But I want to be, like I said, I just want to be more part of the show, you know. It's like the last couple of weeks that we've done the show. It's like, and again, it's not to say anything that your creativeness was bad or whatever like that, or your ideas were bad. I just felt like I just wasn't part of the show. I just wasn't there. You know what I mean? It's like I'm there, and you see me, and I'm there, but when it conveys to the air, to the audience, it's like, where the fuck is he? You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? That's how I feel, you know? And so...
Well, there are going to be shows where the theme of that show is catered to someone's personality. As every show happens, one person is going to stand out.
Right.
It's so hard to balance out a performance when more than one person is involved. Who gets, the 50-50 split? How does that get defined?
I'm not even looking. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Even when I come into the picture, and I'm about posting a show, like I explained to you. I feel like our title is slapped onto this box, and it's up to us to fill it with content, up to a certain degree, so it's not overflowing, it's not too much, and it's not too lacking, so that we can package it up and ship it out. I want that to be representative of the show title. Whatever goes in there is cool with me. It doesn't matter, so long as after a period of time, people can expect a certain framework of creativity coming from us.
Well, yeah, too.
And there are times when, like during the Rampage interview, Chris was the man. He knew his MMA thing. I wanted to get a little bit to know more of who Rampage is as a person outside of the celebrity.
And he did his job.
And he did a great job.
Chris did what he was supposed to do.
Absolutely.
That's a given.
But above and beyond, I wanted the show to be good, and I felt like we did our job. We put a good show out there, and I can't hold resentments against anybody, And each show is going to be like that. You just have to accept. Should I step in there? Should I fight to get what I want here, or do I look at it from as a means to an end? I want just a good performance so that people can relate to the show as what they can expect. Is it good? Is it quality? And that's all. Or
do I even want to listen to it?
So
yeah,
I want them to keep coming back.
That pressure, and I see, and that's what I was talking about yesterday when you were talking about that. When you use that analogy, I didn't look at it. I wasn't looking at it from your point of view. You know what I mean? I really wasn't. I was, to be honest, I was just like being selfish and immature about it. You know what I mean? But I wasn't looking at it as, well, fuck, this dude has a lot of pressure on him because.
Yeah, because
he wants to.
This is my concept that I approached you with, and so I feel the pressure falls on me to make sure that that box is full.
Absolutely, I get that. And like I said, until you said that, I really didn't get that. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't understand it. And once you said that to me, I was like, wow, you know what? I guess that is a lot of pressure to put on somebody. You know what I mean? Because you want the show to be good. You know what I mean? But you also want it to be organic.
Right.
You know, you want that.
But we also need to keep in mind always that we're amateurs. We have no education in this field. You know, how good can one be?
Period.
How good can one be by watching TV and listening to radio to actually feel like that's fucking an egomaniac? Like I can do that. I'm just gonna go out there and do it. But what gave me a little bit more motivation to get into podcasting is it is in a sense like stand-up, where it's just a man and a microphone, and the only way to get good at that is to just go out there and do it. You know, succeed or fail and learn from your mistakes.
It's scary too, because you know, like these conversations that we're having right now, you know what I mean, it's just the two of us, you know what I mean. It's one thing when you have a third party, or you have an interviewee, you know, and you go in there and you have someone to carry the flow, you know what I mean? And again, I don't know if we've gotten to that point where, like you said, I don't know what you call it, shorthand, where we can feed off of each other, and we can
and everybody in the audience knows what we're talking about. When you're with people that you grew up with, there are inside jokes that have been built from way back. It's part of your personality now. And you don't have that when you're out in your daily life. But when you get back to your zone in your home life with your homies, so to speak, there's a shorthand. Like you can cut to jokes and make that happen. But what we need to do, and I was explaining to Marin, is it's going to take time because we've barely known each other for like 2 years now.
Yeah, a little over 2 years.
And we really just spent time when we went to meetings together. Since we started the show, we're spending a lot of time together.
Oh yeah, we're hanging out a lot more.
So in the last 2 months, that's when we really can concentrate on building our quote unquote shorthand. But that takes a long time to build. References to things that have happened. And what I want to do is build that with the audience. So that after they listen to a number of shows, they get the frames of references that we're pulling from. We've built jokes that the audience member gets, and that's the great thing about putting a show on a podcast or on the air, so to speak. And you feel really special when you get a joke that was planted months before.
Oh yeah.
You feel like I'm part of an inside club. And I feel once we start getting there, and that's going to take time, and we need to be patient. We need to realize, like I said, we're amateurs. We're brand new at this. But after a while, it's going to kind of come into
It's going to meld itself, I think.
It's going to build enough momentum where the show kind of has its own speed and its own expectations within itself, and it's just going to come together. And there will be a zone there, but we just need to just keep carving away, you know. Trudging
away, as they say in the rooms of 12 steps. We have to trudge away. And again, like I said, dude, I truly yesterday was just I think it was a momentary lapse of judgment I might have, and I expressed that to you yesterday. You know, I said that to you yesterday about what was going on, you know. And again, it just goes back, and we talked about this a while back. How we plant a whole scenario in our fucking head on what's gonna happen and how it's gonna go down, you know. And like I said, I just came in here, dude, with just like this whole, I just had this whole like fuck you attitude. I don't want to fucking do this anymore. And I think my mind was just like shut off to the whole idea of like compromise. Now I don't know if you're a fucking evil genius or not, but the way you like planned it out, or the way you like just set it to where, you know, the way it was set in motion, you know what I mean? I just reevaluated everything that was going on, you know. And so again, you know, and then you're like, I went back to the whole, and again, I don't know if we're gonna keep this title or not, you know, the Wes and M, that was our that's what was on the table. And you're like, look, dude, It's the Wes and M show.